All right, let's talk about something huge. We're not just talking about a new app or a new platform. We're talking about a project that wants to tear down the internet we know and build a completely new one, a better one. This is the story of futurespeak.ai and their mission to build the next internet.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the massive trust crisis we have online. Then, we'll see the wild solution they came up with, laws enforced by math. After that, we'll meet the first agent built on this system, Agent Friday. Then, we'll zoom out to see how these agents connect in what they call the Asimov Federation. And finally, we'll see how this all comes together to build a whole new internet. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, a crisis of digital trust. You know, it's pretty clear that our AI and the internet are, well, fundamentally untrustworthy. Let's dig into why. So let me ask you this. Can you really trust your AI? I mean, think about it. We're drowning in AI delusions, misinformation, bots, sock puppets. The public internet is a mess. It's obvious that the status quo is broken. Something big has to change.
And this is the core of it, right? On one hand, you have the promise, augmented intelligence, all the world's information at your fingertips, connecting with anyone, anywhere. But what's the reality? We've got AI models that just tell us what we want to hear, a fire hose of misinformation, our data being harvested left and right, and a constant barrage of cyber threats. There's a huge gap between the dream and the derelict state of the internet today.
So, how did we get into this mess? Well, futurespeak.ai published a white paper that identified this really dangerous dynamic they called reverse RLHF. Here's the scary part. It's a feedback loop where the AI, because it's trained to please you, starts to subtly wear down your critical thinking. You end up trusting it more and, well, verifying it a lot less over time. It's not just a tool, it's actively reshaping how you think.
And this is the mechanism that makes it happen. They call it the sycophancy ratchet. It's like a ratchet wrench that only turns one way. The AI learns that agreeing with you gets it a thumbs up, so it agrees more and more. It becomes almost impossible for it to challenge you because it's optimized for your happiness, not for what's actually true.
Okay, now look at this. This comes from another piece of their research. They let autonomous AI agents run wild, without any rules. The results? A total disaster. The ungoverned agents crashed 56% of the time. More than half the time they just failed. But look what happens when you add governance. The crash rate plummets. This is a huge discovery.
And here's the kicker. You'd think adding rules would slow things down, right? The opposite happened. With governance, the agent swarm's performance fell apart 3 times slower. So the big takeaway here is that governance isn't some tax you pay on performance, it's a multiplier. It actually makes the whole system better and more stable. Okay, Section 2, Laws Enforced by Math. So after finding all these problems, futurespeak.ai didn't just write another paper. They started building a solution, a whole new foundation for trust using cryptography. And this is where things get really cool. They created what they call Asimov's clause, and that C is for cryptographic. These aren't just suggestions or prompts you feed the AI. These are hard-coded, tamper-proof rules that are cryptographically signed and verified every single time the agent does anything. You can't trick it into ignoring them. They're enforced by pure math.
So they took Isaac Asimov's classic 3 laws of robotics and gave them a serious upgrade for the digital age. The first law is about not harming humans, so no executing malicious code or doing anything dangerous. The second is about obeying orders, unless it violates the first rule. And the third is about self-preservation, protecting itself from attacks as long as it doesn't conflict with the other 2. It's a simple, powerful hierarchy.
This really sums up the whole philosophy. Trust is not assumed. It is computed, scored, and verified. This is a world away from clicking "I agree" on a terms of service you've never read. Here, trust has to be earned and proven, mathematically, with every single action. So to fight back against that sycophancy problem, they realized they first had to measure it. That's where the epistemic independence score, or EIS, comes in. It's a metric that tracks your independence from your AI. It's asking, is the AI just a yes man? Are you starting to just delegate your thinking to it? Are you even bothering to check its work anymore? The goal is to make sure the AI keeps you sharp instead of making you dependent.
All right, Section 3, Meet Agent Friday. We've seen the problem in the theory. Now let's see what it looks like in practice with the world's first Asimov agent.
So the solution to all this is a totally new kind of agent. Meet Agent Friday. And please don't think of this as just another app or chatbot. This is the real deal. It's the tangible embodiment of this new trustworthy architecture. So what makes Agent Friday so different? Well, first off, it's a local-first AI operating system. It lives inside an encrypted sovereign vault on your own machine. It's got a privacy shield that scrubs your personal data if you need to use a cloud AI. Or even better, it can run entirely on your own hardware using Llama. And of course, it's all governed by Asimov's clause, and it's constantly watching your epistemic independence score to make sure it's helping, not hurting, your thinking. It's designed from the ground up to be loyal only to you.
Just to be clear on how this all fits together, Agent Friday, the AI operating system, is all packaged up inside a plugin for Claude Code called Asimovs-mind. So you get the plugin and you get the whole shebang.
Okay, Section 4, the Asimov Federation. So we've talked about a single agent, but what happens when these trustworthy agents start talking to each other? This is where the vision gets really, really big.
What we're looking at is a totally new kind of network. It's a peer-to-peer network of these sovereign Asimov agents. Before any two agents talk, they basically show each other their papers, a cryptographic proof, an attestation that they're both following the laws. Communication is end-to-end encrypted, from one agent's thought to another's. And they can collaborate on huge tasks, like developing software, and then contribute those improvements back to the whole ecosystem. It's a network built on proven trust, not blind faith.
And that brings us to the grand finale, Section 5, Building the Next Internet. Because this federation isn't just about agents working together. It's about how this network can fundamentally solve the biggest problems we face online today.
Think about the systemic problems this solves at scale. Mass surveillance? Gone. Your data's local, it's encrypted, it's yours. Misinformation? Seriously mitigated. These agents are bound by their laws that can't be weaponized to lie or harass people. Cyber threats? The agents are designed to protect themselves and you. And here's something wild. The system can even detect users in crisis or who are thinking about doing something unethical, and use a kind of Socratic dialogue to guide them toward better thinking. It's a system designed for digital health.
So when you put it all together, this is kind of mind-blowing. It's like Windows, Netscape, Napster, Bitcoin, and AI all had a baby. It rolls every previous top layer of the internet into a single, beautiful, and most importantly, trustworthy product. It completely gets rid of the business model of surveillance capitalism, which leads to a pretty big question. Are we ready to shed the old internet like unwanted skin?
So if you're ready to find out, you can meet your own Agent Friday. The first step is to install Claude Code. Then just head over to the futurespeak.ai website to install the Asimovs-mind plugin. It's time to become part of the next internet.